Fantastic weekend for you, mate. Friday night, had to really dig deep in that fourth quarter, get that W, and then wire to wire win. You never trailed. What's pleased you most about this group in this round? They've been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, well, Friday night we had to find momentum through three quarters. I described it as an ugly game where we just had to find it, and then fourth quarter we were very explosive. Tonight, I thought we did a great job of controlling the pace and the tempo to our liking, and a lot of that was done through like our attention to detail on defense, and then us controlling the glass.
Is that the biggest improvement you think defensively for this group? I mean, you've had your moments, but it just seems like it's all coming together at the right stage of the season.
Yeah, it's certainly going to look like that, but this weekend we had our full roster. So when you got your full roster at your disposal, that usually helps your situation at both ends of the floor.
Yeah. And just on follow on from that, Christian Doolittle.
Yeah.
I mean, since his arrival, it seems like he's stabilised you defensively. We all know what a great two-way player he is.
Yeah. Look, it's good that he's finally getting some recognition for what he can do on the basketball court at both ends, and he embraces the challenge at the defensive end, no matter who's influencing the game for the opposition. So that's a nice thing that we have. But what's good about this team right now is different guys are contributing when they have the opportunity. Like Almanza come in, offensive rebounds, Ty Webster come in, and the pace that he plays with gives us a different gear. And then, like Wag settles us, Windler, big offensive rebound down the stretch. So when you're a good team, you have people like just contributing in their own ways, which really impacts and affects winning.
And you mentioned offensive rebounds, 23.
Yep.
Was that a big focus for you? Obviously you had very little time to recover after that game, flight, cross country, etc.
Yep.
Was that a big focus for you tonight? And also the points off the second chances as well?
Look, rebounding forgives all sins, whether you're playing bad defense or bad offense. So we had great pursuit and intent tonight to control that. And you saw, like, we have multiple guys that can go and find an extra possession for us.
Jesse, congratulations on the 500. I mean, what does it mean to you? You're just the fourth player in NBL history to get to the 500 with one club, and the other three are legends: Andrew Gaze, Brett Maher, Matty Campbell. What does it mean to you to get to the 500 mark?
Oh, it's a big question. No, it means a lot. I spoke during the week, and me and my wife arrived in Perth kind of, I said with nothing, but I mean just with a couple of bags, and you kind of start life out, and 16 years later still there, and 3 kids and married, and so I feel like I've kind of grown up with the club. A lot of my life has revolved obviously around basketball, but around the club and the relationships that you form over the years and the experiences that you have. So it's been a huge part of our life, and I consider myself really privileged to be there that long.
What's kept you going though? I mean, from that for that period of time, and you've had just an unbelievable career in anyone's language.
Look, I'm under no illusion that it's still a business, and I think the only way you stay with a team is to have success, right? And the only way you have success is if you're surrounded by great coaches and great players and great support staff and great front office, right? So I'm a small cog in that kind of machine, but to play alongside some greats and play under some great coaches and support staff and the whole front office, that's kind of the only way you get to stick around, I guess.
What about this group this season? I mean, something that people tend to forget is that John really hasn't had a full roster at his disposal for pretty much most of the year. There's always been guys coming in and out and various injuries. But it seems like you're starting to really develop a great chemistry and really getting to a point at the right time of the season where you feel like you can go pretty much all the way.
Look, I think if you take the scoreline out of tonight, I think if you looked at our performance, I really liked, and Jay mentioned it really quickly, was just the intent that we played with. Yeah. I thought we were in a good headspace, and I think if we play like that, and that's kind of the style that we have to play at, I think we're really great. It's when we're just a bit off the pace and perhaps take things a bit easier and not willing to do that hard work. I thought we had just great, solid intensity for I'd say almost 40 minutes, and that's what you got to do in this league, right? There's some very good teams, some very good players, but you have to play with a certain intent or passion, intensity. There's a million words you could use, but I thought tonight we did a pretty solid job of that.
Jesse, you one game 100, one game 200, but lost 300, 400. The milestone isn't affected at all through our eyes by the result tonight, but what does it mean to you to win game 500 as opposed to the result coming the other way?
Yeah, I don't think, I said to someone the other day, I don't think my strike rate for milestone games is all that good. No, it's a really important win, right? And that's what the focus was always on, right? Like it's a really important game. It's crunch time to the season, but as I said, I think it's the way we play tonight, which was a really good sign, and that's the way we've got to play every night, and that's what we've got to do, and that's what you have to do in this league to win. It's just to play with that just right level.
And John, a couple of players who'll ask you about Ty Webster, 2 games back now from his injury, having missed 8. Did you expect him to come back as comfortably as it appears he has?
Yeah, look, I think the medical staff and Ty's approach to how we handled, his injuries through the first 3 quarters of the season, he came back with a good pace and a good confidence about himself. So I thought, we handled that well to give him success, and we need him in the playoffs, so we didn't want to rush. We wanted to make sure he's like he looked in the last 2 games, and you can see he brings a different element to our group when he's on the floor.
And Ben Henshall's continued growth and development, the way he went at Jalen Adams, who found foul trouble, sort of suggested maturity maybe beyond his years. How did you assess his game?
A few different ways. It was great that he has the confidence to go at Jalen Adams, but on the flip side, the other night he hits a big 3. Tonight, his teammates were happy for him to play like that. And that's where this team's evolving and going. They're happy for each other's successes, and that's where Jesse talks about the intent and just having the right amount of edge. Like that's what we need, and I look at that and the way they're playing for each other is critical in being successful at this time of the year.
That's 5 straight road wins for you now. How significant do you see that, big picture wise?
Well, with where we'll probably finish on the ladder, we'll have to go on the road in the playoffs. So, I don't know. It seems like we're always in playoff mode with how we start the season. But I think it'll give us a nice confidence when we get to that postseason.
If you crunch the numbers, you need to beat Adelaide, and Melbourne need to lose to Southeast Melbourne in the showdown. But you haven't ruled out a top 2 finish completely, have you yet?
I just the only thing I worry about is how we play. I can't worry if my energy's going to that stuff. I'm not going to give these guys my best effort. Those things take care of themselves. And if we finish wherever we finish, the playoffs are on, and it's a clean slate for everyone that makes it that far.
Jesse, we spoke to a very proud sister, Naomi, who mentioned the big family influence here. Just tell us who was here tonight to support you and what that support meant.
Yeah, it was great to have some family. Obviously, Perth's a long way away, but growing up in Canberra, it's relatively close to Sydney. So my sister and sister's husband, her daughter, my auntie and my mum were able to make it. So it was nice to have a little bit of support. But it was good. It was great.
I forgot to ask you, just a word on this guy. I mean, coming from someone who's yourself been such a legend of the game and played with and against the all-time greats, this guy's, he kind of has been doing it quietly, but
Yep.
He's been a key part of how many championships and, well, without a doubt, one of the greatest role players in NBL history. But how do you assess him over your short time with him?
Yeah, like to steal your words, role player. He's a superstar in his role.
Yeah.
And over the years, his role has been really different on different teams. And even in my time with him, we've had some moments where we've had to figure out who our group is, and he's just all about the right things. And he touched on it before about, like, it's a business. He makes himself a valuable person, not player, person. And that part of it, like everyone sees him play and all the accolades and 6 championships, but the person, to get out of bed every day and to go about his business the way he does and then embrace his teammates, like, invaluable. And that's what makes him the champion and the legend that he is at the club.
And 100% shooting in game 500.
Means you didn't shoot enough, right? Should have got more up. If you haven't missed, you haven't shot enough.
Game 2, I remember he hit 6 threes with the entertainment centre. It was the last game the Kings ever played there, so he's made a habit of it.
Anyone on the Zoom? Okay, thanks guys.
Thanks, guys.
Come on, Craig. Injury updates.